I've had PlayStation's Pulse Explore earbuds for about a month now, so I've had plenty of time to test them and have put together one of the most comprehensive reviews that you can find. They come in a pretty small box, and I should mention that this unit was gifted to me by PlayStation, but as always, this review is completely honest and I won't hesitate to criticize things, as you'll see throughout this video. Upon opening the box, you first see visualized instructions for how to connect the buds to different devices, and then under this you find the earbuds themselves. Personally, I absolutely love the design of the case and how it's built to match a PS5 console, but I'm not sure if it's particularly practical for everyday use. In comparison to Galaxy Buds or AirPods, the case is about twice the size in length and is also a bit taller. It still fits in most of my pockets, but when I put it in my PS Portal carry case, it just feels so squashed in and forced. Anyway, the case slides open to the side with a satisfying click to reveal the buds within. Just like the case, I think the buds look great, and again, I really do love how they match that sleek PS5 colour scheme that we're so used to. On top of each bud, there are physical buttons to control the volume, and then on the underside, a physical PS Link button. I definitely like the tactile feeling of these buttons over the temperamental touch controls most earbuds use, so props to PlayStation for going for this route. Leave a comment letting me know whether you prefer the actual buttons or touch controls though, as I'm quite intrigued. Am I the only one with this opinion? Anyway, they go in and out of the case super easily too, thanks to the magnetic charging plates, so I have no complaints there either. From my testing, I find that I get around 4 to 5 hours of use before I need to put them back in the case to charge, and even if I have multiple devices paired, it doesn't seem to have an effect on battery life. The case itself seems to be able to hold enough power to charge your buds twice before you then have to plug the case in, which is pretty good going. The case itself has excellent battery life indicator lights too, flashing green 3 times if full, orange twice if it's medium, red once if low, and rapidly flashing red if both the buds and case are completely drained of power. They also come with a USB-A to USB-C charging cable, a PlayStation Link adapter, which I must say looks awesome with the tiny PlayStation icons all over it, as well as different sized bud tips. I recommend you try each size of these out to see which fits your ears the best, but for me, the pre-installed ones are the most comfortable. Speaking of comfort and fit, they are really easy to put in and I can wear these for hours. I've not worn them for any more than 5 hours at once, but in that time, I never had any issues with comfort at all. What I will say is when you put them in, make sure you do twist them around so that the PlayStation logo is vertically above where the bud would be. To begin with, I was actually wearing them like this without realizing, and it had a negative effect on sound quality. That's actually a major issue that I have with these earbuds. If you don't insert them exactly as intended, or don't have the correct bud tips for your ear canal, then the sound quality is diminished massively. I found this one guy on Reddit saying that initially they sounded horrible to him, and then he replied to his own comments completely unprompted, saying that he then just tried different bud tips, and they were suddenly the best sounding earbuds they ever used. I tested this out myself and found that using the wrong bud tips does in fact hurt the audio quality greatly, so I can't stress enough how important it is that you try each size. Once you do, you'll realise just how mesmerising the sound quality is, but more on that later. I should mention there are paper instructions below those different bud tips too, but I find the ones on PlayStation's website to be more helpful. That said, the earbuds are extremely easy to use in all regards, so you probably won't need to be looking at any instructions anyway. To pair them with your PS5, simply plug in the PS Link adapter and then put the earbuds in. That's it. You can also connect them to your PC or laptop this very same way, which is an excellent feature, because honestly, Bluetooth audio on Windows is horribly bad. Speaking of Bluetooth, you can connect to a Bluetooth device and a PS Link device simultaneously, so let's say you want them connected to your PS5 and phone at the exact same time, then you can do that. All you do is put both buds in the case, hold the PS Link button for 8 seconds until the light flashes blue, and then select Pulse Explore from the nearby Bluetooth devices on your phone screen. You'll see the light become static blue now, and if you put the buds back on, they'll automatically connect to any available PS Link connection while still staying connected to your phone. The physical volume buttons on the buds control the volume of a PlayStation Link device, whilst you have to use a Bluetooth device itself to control the volume of that connection. Initially, I did think that could be annoying, but having completely independent sound control over both connections like this makes it so easy easy to just watch YouTube or take calls at the same time as playing games without either audio source being drowned out. That said, it isn't a completely perfect system. Whilst I love the physical buttons on the buds, as I mentioned earlier on, having no touch interface at all means that you can't touch the buds to answer calls, skip songs, or anything like that, even if the only connection you have is to your phone. For that reason, I wouldn't recommend these if you're mainly looking for earbuds to use with your phone. Having to get your phone out of your pocket every time you want to skip a track is just way too tedious. You should think of these buds as primarily a gaming device, albeit with a secondary function to Bluetooth to your phone at the same time. There isn't a transparency mode or active noise cancellation mode either, which further diminishes the value it could have as a companion to your phone. I hope Sony roll out a software update in the future that maybe lets us use a PS Link button on each bud for stuff like skipping tracks, but I don't know, that seems quite unlikely. Now, moving on to the most important factor of any audio device: the sound quality. When the Pulse Explore earbuds were first announced, I was extremely intrigued due to how they are some of the only mainstream earbuds utilizing planar magnetic drivers. That tech is normally only found in high-end headphones used by professional sound engineers, and fitting it into these earbuds is likely what's driven the cost up to $200. Luckily, the sound quality for games doesn't disappoint at all. I've spent a lot of time using these in Gran Turismo 7, God of War Ragnarok, and Spider-Man 2, and they all sound so good. They pack an amazing amount of bass as well, which is really rare for audio devices this small, and you can really feel that engine noise in Gran Turismo because of it. They are quite possibly the best sounding earbuds I've ever used for games, music, or movies. Just make sure you are using the right bud tips for your ears to get the full effects, as I mentioned earlier on in the review. Lately, I've been playing lots of GT7 in VR whilst using these earbuds, and I must say that I love it. In fact, I came to play it last night and was extremely disappointed when I found out that both the earbuds and the case were dead, so I had to use a Pulse 3D instead, which is just nowhere near as comfortable as a Pulse Explore. Honestly, if you've got a PSVR 2, I can't recommend the Pulse Explore enough. They are so far ahead in comfort than any headset could ever be whilst using VR, and they sound substantially better than those cheap wired earbuds that came with the headsets. Don't get me wrong, they are great when playing regular PS5 games as well, but they do shine the most when it comes to using them with VR. They work very well with party chat too, as you're able to hear every word clearly while still hearing whatever it is that you're playing. The microphones also use AI enhanced noise cancelling tech, which I found to be quite impressive. This means that the people in your party won't be able to hear vacuums being used, you rattling food packets, or your family shouting at you, or whatever it might be that's going on around you. Here are a few audio samples recorded directly from the earbuds, whilst there are different things going on around me as annotated on the screen.
To begin with, this is how the mic sounds without any background noise, but now listen to what happens if someone is using a loud vacuum about 5 meters away from me. Notice you can hardly hear it. Now let's crumple up a wrapper, and again notice you can hardly hear it like you usually can on other mics. I literally have it directly in front of my face as well. You can even combine the chaos with both noises and it continues to work well. Obviously, this is an extreme scenario just to demonstrate it does work well, even with the loudest of sounds.
Personally, I think the way the microphone cancels out background noise is extremely impressive, and the microphone itself sounds okay too. But let me know your thoughts on this in the comments by rating it out of 10. Another advantage of the Pulse Explore earbuds over any other audio device is that they can wirelessly connect to the PlayStation Portal. Technically, you can get a cheap accessory that lets you do this with any Bluetooth device, but as the Pulse Explore buds use PlayStation Link technology, it has very little latency, which isn't the case when using Bluetooth devices. You pair the earbuds to the Portal as though it's a new PS Link adapter, so hold the PS Link button for 8 seconds on the Explore case, then tap the Link button on the Portal once ready. You can then switch between your different Link devices by holding the Link button on the earbud for 2 seconds, and then tapping the Link button on the device that you want to connect to. So it is really simple to switch back and forwards from your Portal to PS5 and vice versa. From my testing, the sound quality when connected to the Portal is about the same as when connected directly to the PS5 itself, though due to the nature of how the Portal works, you may experience occasional audio stuttering depending on the signal you have. I did try the Portal out whilst 2,000 miles away from home, and the earbuds still worked brilliantly with it. I'll have a full video out soon where I show how well the Portal works at massive distances from your PS5 like that, so make sure to subscribe with notifications on in order not to miss it. Doing so will also help me close in on 100,000 subscribers. We're so almost there. Overall, the Pulse Explore are a great addition to the PS5 accessory lineup, with excellent sound quality and great connectivity between your different devices. Whilst I wouldn't recommend them if you're planning to use them exclusively with your phone due to the lack of controls, I'd definitely consider grabbing a pair for your PS5, especially if you own a PS VR2 as well. When you hear these yourself, it becomes immediately apparent as to why they're $200, but do you think that's worth it? Let me know in the comments, as well as drop a like if this video helped you come to a decision. Now, if you want to see a similar review to this one but for the DualSense Edge, check the video out on screen as well as subscribe, as I'll be reviewing the Pulse Elite headset when that releases too.